Welcome back, everybody. Matt the Matt here. Hope you're doing well. So this weekend we had a new James L. Brooks movie come out. James L. Brooks hasn't done a movie since 2010, 2011. The last movie he did was How Do You Know? How did you know, not going in, that this movie was going to suck? That was the one with Owen Wilson, Paul Rudd, Reese Witherspoon, and the last time we saw Jack Nicholson on the screen. He also did the movie Spanglish with Adam Sandler, and he did one of my favorite comedies of the 90s, As Good As It Gets, with Jack Nicholson and Helen Hunt and Greg Kinnear and Cuba Gooding Jr. That actually won Helen Hunt and Jack Nicholson their Oscar. So I was, in a lot of dramedies. So I was looking forward to this new one. Even though the last movie was horrible that he did. But I was looking forward to Ella McCay. I liked the trailer. He got a great cast. Woody Harrelson, Jamie Lee Curtis, Emma Mackey, Camille Nanjiani, and even Rebecca Hall is in the movie. So hey, that's a good cast. I like the trailer. There's a lot of drama, comedy in there. Let's see. Positives. Emma Mackey, I thought she did a really good job in here. This was her first real big role in a film. She was in that show on Netflix, Sex Education. Probably not a show that a lot of people watch because of the title Sex. But hey, someone might be a little naughty. I liked the show. It was good. It was funny. It was naughty. It was. There was a lot of sex in it. And she was great in the role on that show. She had a lot of personality and a little more, tough around the edges. And of course, she looked like a younger Margot Robbie. Not that Margot Robbie is old. She's only in her 30s. She's my age. But she's like that younger sister look of Margot Robbie. And she had some small roles in like Death on the Nile, and she was in the Barbie movie with Margot Robbie. But this is like her first prominent role. And I thought she did a great job. She had a lot of different emotions throughout the film range. I thought all her scenes with Jamie Lee Curtis were very good. Even her moments with Camille Nanjiani, who plays her driver, because she works for the government. She becomes the new governor, the youngest governor in the state of New Jersey or some small town up north. And I think she has some great moments with Jamie Lee Curtis, great moments with Camille Nanjiani, a lot of more quieter moments. She also brought some humor, some romance into the role. I think overall, for a first time starring in a film, great. Also, Jamie Lee Curtis, I actually like Jamie Lee Curtis in here. Also, I like how movies are starting to not rely on the de-aging, and just say, hey, back in the day, what we used to do with actors was either cast a younger actor to play that character, or we find a way to make that actor look younger, whether by changing the hair color, making the hair longer or shorter, or, maybe she's wearing glasses, older, but now she's younger, she's not wearing glasses, play around with the wardrobe. And Jamie Lee Curtis, at the beginning, she lives, the younger version, where they just darken her hair and have a little bit longer hair. She actually almost looked like the same character she played in My Girl, almost. So that was almost perfect. And then of course they just made her look older by dyeing her hair gray, or her natural gray now, and having a shorter haircut. I mean, it worked. And I'm glad, studios are realizing, you can just go back to doing that, rather than spending a whole lot of money on de-aging technology. And Jamie Lee Curtis, I thought she was really good in the role. I know a lot of people have kind of compared her role to like Freaky Friday as the mom. Actually, I saw a little bit of the Freaky Friday slash Christmas with the Cranks. Whether you like that or not, that's up to you. But she also wrote those dramatic moments, like in My Girl. So it was like a little bit of a Freaky Friday mixed with My Girl, mixed with Christmas with the Cranks role. But I thought she worked. I like that her scenes with Emma Mackey were very good. Her calling Woody Harrelson a piece of shit never got old. So, the movie has humor throughout. Like I said, this is a dramedy. So you get the drama, you get the comedy moments. I mean, nowhere near as good as it gets. But there's not that many movies that reach that, especially nowadays. And like I said, there's drama. There's probably more drama than humor. I mean, there's a character dealing with a lot of stuff going on. She gets elected as she gets promoted as the governor after Albert Brooks moves into another position. So she's dealing with that. She's dealing with stuff with her father, who cheated on her mother, which led to them getting a divorce, and then her mother dying while also him cheating. How do you cheat on Rebecca Hall? Come on. Then she's dealing with stuff with her brother, and then having just trying to have a normal routine also. Also her husband, dealing with her husband and stuff. So she's having all these issues, and you're going to see where I'm going to get to that in the negative also. Now that people don't have a lot of issues going on in their lives all at once, to me, that was the more relatable part of the story. Like, I think where some people say, oh, there's too much. Well, if you take someone's life and all the stuff they have going on at once, it can be a lot. So, I mean, yeah, the pacing for an hour and 55-minute movie, I thought it was fairly well paced. I'm going to get into some of my minor negatives with the pacing, but overall, Camille Nanjiani, like I said, he plays the driver and kind of like the security person for Emma Mackey, and she is the governor. And I liked all their scenes. He's good at, he likes to be comedic at times, like in other movies, but he also can be really good at dramatic moments and just quieter moments and just two people talking. And I thought he did a good job. Hanging is with the movie. There's a brother storyline, Ella's brother, who, for at least the first scene with them, is a very, very, very long scene. I think a good 15 minutes, and them just talking. Well, you don't see in movies nowadays. Let's just have a moment of two people talking for more than 1 minute, and not cut it up and edit it like crazy. Because we're in the TikTok era where everything has to be boom, 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 boom. Like, no, let's just have two people talking about stuff. And I like that scene. But the overall brother storyline that literally leads to nowhere and has no effect on our main character could have all been taken out. Now, that happens in movies all the time. You hear about actors like Shailene Woodley in The Amazing Spider-Man 2. She was supposed to play Mary Jane Watson. She did. They filmed scenes with her. You don't see any of those scenes in The Amazing Spider-Man 2. And we're talking about Shailene Woodley. All the brother stuff, even though I didn't mind the scene with her and Emma Mackey talking, it was a good scene. At the end of the day, none of his stuff meant anything to the overall story. None of the stuff really went anywhere when it was all said and done. It was like, that's it. So they're going to completely remove everything from the brother storyline. And yes, that was tough for an actor. Hey, you got this role, you're in the movie throughout the whole movie, but they end up cutting all your stuff. But hey, if it doesn't fit the story, like Harry Potter, they realized after the first two Harry Potter movies, if it's not directly relating to Harry Potter, it will not be in the movie. That's why you see a lot of the other books not being as faithful in the films, because a lot of subplots in the books did not make it into the movie. The narrator, we hear the narrator even in the trailer. And I would say it's fine at the beginning of the movie, but then when you're doing it throughout the movie, it really doesn't need to be there. And after a while, the voice gets annoying. No offense to the actress, but it was like, okay, we don't need this narration. To focus more on the political side. Ella is trying to get this bill passed, and it was a very interesting idea and was going to help a lot of families out, but we never see that process. And that could have been something really powerful. Here you have a 34-year-old woman becoming governor for the first time at that young of an age. She has this really interesting bill that would help a lot of families. Let's focus on that. Like I said, I don't mind all the stuff that you deal with the father, you're dealing with the aunt, you're dealing with the brother, you're dealing with the husband. It would have been better to also focus on the political side of the story. Too many subplots. I mean, like you're dealing with the father who has womanizer problems, working on with different women, trying to rekindle his relationship with his daughter and his son. You have the husband who ends up being an asshole. You have the brother who has issues and won't leave the house. It's been over a year. You still got Jamie Lee Curtis as the aunt. You got her like being governor for the first time. So you do have a lot of subplots that could have been narrowed down quicker. Or like that with the brother, take it out completely and use that to focus on the political side. I didn't hate this movie. I'm not going, oh my god, that was the worst movie. I'm like, yeah, no. I've seen a lot of worse movies like Minecraft this year, or Happy Gilmore 2. But, isn't the best, isn't the best James L. Brooks movie? No. Is it better than the last one? How do you know? I know that this movie is better. So, overall, I would at least give this a 3.9 out of 5. I think it is a great starting vehicle for Emma Mackey. And Emma Mackey also tried out for Superman. She was one of the runners-up to play Lois Lane in the new Superman movie that came out this past summer. And I was actually rooting for her over Rachel Brosnahan. So, who knows? Maybe this will, there's a Batman movie that's casting. You never know. So yeah, let me know in the comments below. Do you like Ella McCay? Did you think it had too many subplots? Let me know in the comments below. Matt the Matt, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, leave a comment.